G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 22, the Start From Scratch series on Haut-Beyleron. Okay, so where we are at is the grass is growing. We've done a load of silage, as you might have seen in the last episode. The sheep are still yet to reproduce. We've got plenty of silage over there on the trailer ready for selling once it's fermented. But today's job, we've got to get up to our other field and we've got to harvest the corn and the soybeans. And we'll just cut that guy off there. So we need to grab this trailer up here where all the lettuce is, and we need to get that down to the store, and we need to configure it so that we can load it with the combine harvester. We don't want to be using the other big trailer that we have at the moment because it's just too big. If you saw my last harvesting episode, you'll know how much of a struggle that was. So I think we're just going to use this one for the time being, and hopefully that's going to work out well. So let's get down to the store and let's get up to the field. Okay, we're all configured up now, ready for the transportation of the crop that we're going to harvest. So we're going to harvest the corn first, and then we'll do the soybeans after. And then probably going to sell the corn header that we have for the harvester, because I'm not planning to do corn again probably for some time. And if I do, I'll have a different harvester for that. So I've been busy on ModHub as always. Got to check ModHub regularly. There's always heaps of good mods on there. And we're going to buy ourselves a nice silo. Managed to find a good pack of silos on ModHub, and they're all reasonable for price. We can afford to do it, and I think we need to do it because we need to keep the crop stored away somewhere until the price is right. So where is it? It's not these ones, these are the base game ones. Okay, here it is. So what do we need? How much storage do we really need? Last time we harvested field, we had 2 full trailers pretty much. So we want to check the capacity. So we've got 22.5 cubic meters and 8 cubic meters. So we need roughly 30,000. And I think there'll be a good silo there. There you get 30,000 liters. And that's 18,000. Now we don't want to do it without losing any of the crop if possible, and we also don't want it in the road like that. So I think that's pretty good. I think that side closest to the combine is where you would take it from, and the side closest to the crop is where you would actually tip the load. That's pretty good. We didn't really lose anything of the crop there, and that gives us somewhere to store all of our goods, which is perfect. No more playing around trying to fill up the trailer and put the trailer undercover for 3 or 4 months or maybe more. So we'll get the corn done. Hopefully we'll get a good yield. Didn't mean to plant this corn. It just slipped my mind when I turned the planter on that it was still switched on to that. So we'll get rid of this, and then we'll do the soybeans. And I think the next harvest we're going to be looking at maybe doing wheat, because I want to get some chickens. Chickens in this game are a very good source of income, and they'll be able to help us fund the next field that we want to purchase, and any other vehicles as well. We've got a lot to save up for actually. We want to get a new field, we want to get a new tractor, eventually we'll get a new combine. But there's always stuff on the shopping list, and chickens are going to be a good way for us to save up that cash. So I might just time-lapse this harvest here for you. So we've got a full trailer load here. Still a little bit of corn left on the field as well, so we'll just have to go and tip this into the silo. But we've got 8,000 litres of corn already. That's quite surprising. I wasn't expecting as much as that. And if that means we've got 8,000 litres in here, I reckon we still got another 1,000 or so left on the field, maybe a little bit more. But we'll have to see how we tip into this silo here. I'm not sure if I've given myself enough room. I don't want to destroy any of the crop. Oh, there we go, it'll accept it there. That's perfect. So let's check this out. Not a bad little silo, and the good thing is they're very cheap. So if we need to get a second one, we can. We could even upgrade it and get a larger one, or maybe one of the smaller ones. Doesn't really matter, but the farm is going to start to take shape. So there we go, 8,000 litres tipped into the silo. So now we'll go and park up the tractor somewhere out of the way of the combine. We'll finish combining up the rest of this corn. There's a few little missed pieces around as well that we need to make sure we get. And then we'll swap over the header for the combine and we'll get into doing the soybeans. Hoping that we get quite a good yield out of the soybeans, because they are kind of what's going to be making us the money up until we sell the silage and the lettuce and honey. But I know that soybeans is quite profitable. I hope we're going to get a good return for what we've done there. But this harvest is not too bad really. It does the job. It's not my favourite thing to use because it's so old and slow. It's got a low capacity, but it's not too bad. And for what we can afford and what we're actually doing, it does its job. It serves a purpose. But we will be looking to upgrade eventually. Hopefully we can find a cheap one in the market. Right, all the corn is harvested now, and we got the header on for the soybeans, and I'm going to do the headland here, or the part where we meet the road, maybe 3 times, just to give us enough room to turn around when we're going up and down the field. We don't want to be causing a traffic jam or any accidents. So we'll do this a couple of times up and down. And I'm so glad we got that silo. Now we don't have to play around driving onto a hill with the combine to try and get it into a trailer. God, that was a nightmare in the last episode. I'm just going to see, I don't think you can get any straw. Yeah, would have been nice to get some straw, but we will get straw when we do the wheat, which is definitely what we're going to be planting in this field next time. So we can get the straw, which we can sell, and we can keep the wheat. We will keep all of the wheat for the chickens. We don't want our chickens going hungry, and we don't want to be buying any wheat from the store. I would rather just keep it, and all of that will turn into profit when we get eggs. That's a good thing about chicken, very low maintenance, and you get a high return on the product. Now this field is a bit dodgy. It's a little bit lumpy and bumpy. So I might have to get the landscaping tool out in here and just see if we can soften some of that, because it does cause a problem when we're doing the harvest. We have to raise the header, lower the header, drive forward. It just keeps getting stuck. But here comes another time lapse for the rest of this harvest. Hope that wasn't as painful for you as it was for me. That did take a very long time, but it's all done now. So we have a trailer which is almost full, or it looks almost full, with the soybeans, but all of this is going to go into the silo, and then when the price is right we can sell it. So there we are, we got a final count there of 8,900 litres of soybeans off the field. Not too bad. Would have much preferred to not have the corn and just have all soybeans, but you know, got to do what we do. So we're just going to have to move this other trailer out the way here. Don't feel like we're going to be able to tip with that where it is, so we'll get that out of the way, and then we can store the soybeans away. I think soybeans price is good around June, July. Right now it's the lowest price possible, always is around harvest time. So we'll re-hook up to our trailer and we'll chuck this into the silo here. That would have accepted it there. There we go. So the trailer looks a lot more full than it is. We did take the extension off of it though. It's not quite as big as what it was before, which is fine. So that's empty, and what we're going to do now is we've got a bit of money. Well, not a lot of money, but we've got a little bit. We really need to get a shed. So I want to start tidying up the fields. I don't really like having my stuff lying around like this, and this little grass verge looks like a good spot for a shed. Ground's quite level. Just debating which direction to have the shed face. I don't really want to be pulling out onto the road, but I also don't want to be losing too much of my land. So let's jump into the construction menu here, click on sheds. Found something on the mod hub again for a very good price. Very cheap sheds available. So these are all pretty much the base game ones. Probably got a few other mods in here, but the one I'm looking for is only like 5,000. So it's dirt cheap, and I think it looks quite spacious. Yeah, this one. And it's quite rustic and quite old, so it fits in quite well with the map. So we definitely want to get this. This is a thing of beauty. We're not going to lose too much of our land here either. But looks like that header needs to be moved out of the way. Better jump out and get the combine, and we'll move that, and then actually we're going to go and sell it after doing all of this as well. Just take that header off, leave it there, get everything out the way. The land is a little bit sloping down though towards the road here, so we might need to get the leveling tool out a little bit. We'll see how it goes. We'll put it all in. Once we've set it all up, then we can do the fine tuning, see how that looks. And I think we're going to need to do a bit of ploughing just here where we've grown the corn. I know you have to plough after a root crop. Not sure about the soybeans though. That might just be a light cultivation. Anyway, lining this up would be best from this angle. Don't want to be too close or too far away from the silo. That's pretty good. Jump out and have a look. Look at that, eh? Heaps of room. We could store pretty much everything we have in there, and we haven't really lost a lot of the field. We will need to give ourselves a little bit of room in front though, but that shed's cheap enough. When I'll future-proof the farm, I'm gonna get ourselves a second one. They're only £5 each, and that'll give us plenty of storage for the coming years. Yeah, that is smart. That looks good. A little bit of a dip going in, but that's not really too much of an issue. I think that's really good. We got heaps of room there, and I can actually organize my stuff how I like to organize it. So we're going to want the softening tool here. Just try and soften this edge up so that we're not bouncing around when we come in and out of the sheds here. I don't know how much we need to do with it, just go with a little bit for now, and if it doesn't work out properly then we'll come back to it another time. But this, if it starts costing us money, actually this area of the field as well is really bumpy. I want to try and soften as much of this as possible so that the next harvest we're not having these issues with the headers. Pretty big field actually when you look at it, when you zoom out like that. So we'll just give it a big brush over there, and then we'll do a little bit of painting. We're going to want a little bit of room in front. We'll go with the asphalt. We'll increase that size. That should be about enough. One big square. That should give us enough room to pull in and out. We'll have to see though, when we come to planting they might actually need to increase that. And we'll just finish that off nicely there. But I think it's pretty good. I do like to try and keep everything nice and neat. Want a nice concrete pad here for the silo, so we're not driving all over the crop. We'll just square this up. That's a pretty good improvement. Get rid of the grass too, we don't need that. And same with these weeds behind the shed here. I don't want that. Just looks a bit scruffy. I'm pretty happy with this. Good improvement to the farm here. I think we need to have access from the road. I think that's good. Might widen this corner actually, because this will be the main turning point and access for everything, so we should probably go ahead with that. Well, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to carry on. I might come back to you guys in a couple of episodes time, or a couple of months in game. I'm going to go ahead and get some of the boring stuff out of the way. I'll do the ploughing and I'll do some contracting as well. There's not really anything for us to do until the winter, or throughout the winter there's really nothing. So I'll get everything set up and I'll come back to you guys when we've got some proper work to do. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.